Embarking on a weightlifting journey can be overwhelming, especially for beginners. The gym can be a maze of potential mistakes, each step posing a risk of injury that could impede your muscle building progress. Without caution and the proper guidance, these injuries can become roadblocks on your muscle building journey. In this video, I'm here to be your compass, steering you away from the most common pitfalls in weightlifting and nutrition. Your dream body is within reach, but only if you follow proven advice and avoid the time-consuming mistakes that many make. Join me as I share key insights, tips and strategies to skyrocket your gains, paving the way for the results you've been looking for. Let's make your fitness aspirations, your muscle building aspirations into reality efficiently and effectively. The first thing I wish I knew when I started weightlifting 9 years ago is that genetics play a really big role in achieving your results. Picture two guys, same age, same height, same weight, following the same nutrition plan, getting the same amount of sleep and also following the same training plans. Now, even with all these things being the same, one guy will end up with more muscle mass than the other in the same time period. And that's just all thanks to genetics. We are all unique, and this uniqueness has a big impact on the results you will achieve. Some guys are born with genetic gifts, making it easier for them to build muscle and lose fat. On the flip side, some guys just need to work harder to achieve the exact same results. It may not seem fair, but that's how nature is. The good news, however, is that even if you find yourself having to work a bit harder than others, there is a great opportunity coming up that I'm about to share with you. With this opportunity, you can make the best of your efforts and even achieve the results you are looking for. And the opportunity I was just talking about is the second thing I wish I knew when I started weightlifting, and that is that the training at the gym itself is not the most important thing to achieve your results. Okay, so let's break down achieving a muscular and healthy body in 3 different parts: nutrition, recovery and training. First up is nutrition, the big player in the game, because 40% of the results you're aiming for comes from nutrition. So if you don't eat the right kinds of foods, you're actually missing out on a big chunk of the results. Your body needs a lot of protein and enough calories to build and keep your muscles strong. You can actually look at it at giving your body the right building blocks to keep and build your muscles. Next is recovery, often overlooked but equally important, because recovery makes up another 40% of the results you can get. Getting good sleep is a major factor here. For the average person, they recommend to sleep around 8 hours per night. If you are into bodybuilding, you can even benefit from sleeping more than that. Your body needs to work extra hard when building muscle, so sleeping extra hours can actually help your body fully recover. Now, the third part is the actual training, making up only 20% of the total results. It might sound surprising that this is not the biggest piece of the pie, but here's the deal. You might make all kinds of mistakes during your training, but if you still eat right and sleep well, you will build muscle. On the flip side, if you eat poorly and don't sleep enough, your body won't be able to build muscle efficiently. So to sum it up, it's 40% nutrition, 40% recovery, and 20% training in the formula for building muscle. Now, let's talk about something important that I wish I knew when I first started weightlifting. You don't need a ton of carbohydrates every day like most fitness influencers are trying to let you believe. To be honest with you, I felt for this idea myself for a very long time, and I never really achieved the physique I was looking for. Yes, of course I built muscle and you could say that I was getting bigger, but I never really achieved that lean, defined look I was after. My muscles always looked a bit soft, lacking the sharp, defined details I was looking for. Everything changed when I decided to do a little experiment with my diet and change up things. Instead of loading up on carbs as most influencers suggest, I actually started eating a mix of high healthy fats and low carbs. And guess what? That same year I finally achieved the lean physique I had been chasing for 6 years. So prior to this change, I always had been eating diets high on carbs, but as soon as I switched up to a high healthy fat diet, my body started transforming just the way I wanted it to. Since then, I've stuck with this diet. My current diet actually looks like the following. I eat a good amount of protein, quality protein, around 2 grams per kilogram of body weight, or it's 1 gram per pound of body weight for the Americans. And that's about 30% of my total daily calories. I also include a high amount of healthy fats, constituting for around 40% of my total daily calories. And my carbohydrate intake is actually relatively low compared to other bodybuilding diets, because my carb intake is actually only 30% of my daily calorie intake. And I try to consume most of my carbohydrates around my training program instead of spreading them throughout the day. This balanced approach has done wonders for me. Moving on to the next thing I wish I knew when I first started weightlifting is that supplements are not a must-have. In the early days of my weightlifting career, I was always experimenting and trying out different supplements every few months just to try and find this magic pill that would help me build more muscle. But here's the truth, there is no magic pill. Building a quality physique requires hard work, enough sleep and recovery, and the right nutrition. Sure, supplements will give you a little boost, but they won't work wonders. There is no single supplement that will give you a six-pack or let you bench 100 kilos after only 2 months of working out. If you can afford to spend money on supplements, for sure, go ahead, buy a couple of different supplements and try them out to see how they help you build muscle. But if you can't spare the money, don't buy supplements, and don't worry, you can still achieve the same results without taking supplements. Now, if you decide to try supplements, which ones should you consider? You should forget about most of the supplements. Around 90% of supplements you should not even think about. The only ones you need to consider are a whey protein powder to actually help you reach your daily protein intake, creatine monohydrate, a pre-workout if you want the extra energy boost during your training, and a multivitamin just for your overall health. These basics can make a difference without breaking the bank. Another important thing I wish I knew when I started weightlifting is that lifting heavier weights doesn't mean that you will build more muscle. Especially for younger guys who are actually working out with friends, there is usually a desire to prove themselves and to lift as much weight as possible. This is just stupid. Trying to impress by lifting too much weight, especially if you are just starting out, can lead to injuries that actually will let you stay at home recovering from the injury for the whole year. So here's the deal. Forget ego lifting. Try to focus on a weight your body is comfortable with lifting. Aim for at least 6 to 8 reps with the right posture. From my own experience, I've actually seen more muscle gain when I was focusing on the right posture instead of lifting the most amount of weight I could. When you're doing an exercise, control your movement. Lower your weight slowly in a controlled manner and try to think about squeezing your muscle while you are doing this exercise. Concentrating on maintaining the right posture and actually lowering your weight a little bit can actually make you achieve more results than compared to lifting the heaviest weight possible with a poor posture. It's all about working smarter and not just harder. Another crucial thing I wish I knew when I just started weightlifting is that cardio is not a must for losing fat. Surprisingly, you can actually achieve your summer body complete with a six-pack without spending a single second on a cardio machine. Here's the secret. When you build more muscle, your body actually starts burning more calories, even if you are not actively exercising. I'm actually convinced that a pro bodybuilder can burn more calories in a single day sitting still all day than an average person who manages to get 10,000 steps that day. So why does this happen? Because muscle mass uses up more stored resources in your body, they burn more calories. You can actually look at muscles like little calorie burning engines. If you have more muscle mass, you will burn more calories. Now, if you don't have a lot of muscle mass yet and you still want that lean look, I would suggest you bulk up for a couple of months first. By building more muscle mass, your body will automatically start burning more calories. Once you've built up a lot of muscle mass, losing fat will become much easier. You just have to eat a little less and your six-pack will gradually become visible. Sure, cardio can be helpful and it will speed up things a little bit, but I would suggest you focus on building muscle mass first. This will actually build a solid foundation for you to achieve your fitness goals. Now let's talk about the last thing I wish I knew when I first started weightlifting. You need to mix up things regularly. Our bodies are actually really good at adapting, at getting used to what we do. Let me explain it with an example. When you're outside, your body might start shivering just to keep yourself warm. Now imagine there is a jacuzzi, a hot jacuzzi in front of you. When you first step inside the jacuzzi, it would be really hot. It would actually feel quite different on your skin, but after a couple of seconds, you can comfortably get fully inside of the hot water. That's because your body just adapted from the cold to the hot temperature. The same goes for weightlifting. If you mix up your training program and you do all kinds of new exercises, after the first few sessions your body will actually be sore. But here's the thing, after a week you won't be sore anymore because your body just adapted and got used to the new exercises. This can be a bit tricky because if you keep doing the same things all the time and don't mix up things, your body can actually get too used to it and it will achieve a point at which you are not longer reaching any progress. We call this a plateau. So here's what I personally do. I change up my complete training program every 4 weeks. This way I actually avoid my body getting too used to the exercises too quickly, and I also avoid the plateau. It also keeps things interesting and it helps me keep making progress towards achieving my fitness goals. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, consider subscribing to the channel to stay updated on future content, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.